Allyson Reneau is a mother to 11 children and 8 grandchildren. She is a Harvard graduate with a master's in international relations and a focus in U.S. space policy. Working with youth, mentoring youth, and training Olympic gymnasts is a huge part of her life for the past 30 years, no, 20 years, pardon me. She is an advocate for human spaceflight and exploration. She is a woman of faith who has traveled the world to help others. She is an international keynote speaker, inspiring people to accomplish more and to live
Mhm.
live life with no regrets. Welcome, bienvenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're all nervous. This is a big deal for the first interview for the second season with these students. Okay, next we have Lexi. Not much louder, like 3 times louder.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Tell us about your upbringing.
Your upbringing, your growing up, your exceptional family.
Tell us about your
Can you guys be closer to the microphone? She's not hearing. We're gonna try one more time. We're gonna edit this. You see how loud you
Absolutely.
have to be? You see how loud you have to be, everyone? Because the microphone is not, so we're gonna use this, okay? Go again.
This is right now.
Still, okay, 1 second. I have something I can fix in the settings.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can hear you loud and clear.
you can? Okay,
I can hear you,
hear me,
but
yeah.
not the students. Mhm.
You see? With the maximum, there you go. And try to stand where I am. Okay, I'm gonna move to the back. Go here. Ask him here.
Mrs. Reneau, can you tell us about your upbringing, your values growing up, and about your exceptional family?
Thank you for asking. I grew up in a very small farm town of only 250 people. I was an only child. And in our town, we emphasized academics, athletics, the arts, and also going to church every Sunday. I love nature. I was able to be part of a farm with my father and my mother. We had horses and cattle and things like that. And I think this allowed me to have such a curiosity for science as well. But I think the greatest thing I learned growing up was you could combine faith plus hard work and accomplish your goals, any goal that you had.
Thank you.
Right. Next up, we have Vivian.
Hello.
Hi, Vivian.
Can you share more about your studies at Harvard, your background in international relations, your scientific background, and your advocacy for space exploration?
That is a great question, and I'm so glad you asked that. So after raising 11 biological children, or still in the middle of it, actually at the time, I had an overwhelming feeling that I wanted to make an impact on this planet with my life, and I wasn't really too sure how to go about that. So as you're allowing me the freedom to speak of my faith, I asked God, I need direction. I don't know where to start. And what came to me was that I needed to get my education. So at the age of 48, with 7 children still at home, I went and got my bachelor's degree. It took me about 2.5 years and graduated with good grades. And then from there, just had another feeling that I should go to Harvard and get my master's. For me, this was absolutely impossible. First of all, I didn't have the money. I would have to fly back and forth from Oklahoma City to Boston every week. That was impossible. Second, as you know, I had 7 children at home. Third, I was working a full-time job. And fourth, the one that we all encounter when we're chasing a dream is self-doubt. I'm not smart enough. I don't belong there. I'm not good enough. Why would I even try? So these were the obstacles that I encountered and I felt. But I decided, like you should do when you're going to go to a university, I want to visit the campus. So I borrowed some points for flights and went there. And when I stepped foot on the campus, I knew this is where I was supposed to be. Then I went to the dean of the school for international relations, and I told her all of my sad story that I couldn't do it, I couldn't get there. And she just really put her finger right in my face. And she said, you will find a way to fly here every single week until you get this degree because it will change your life. And it was her belief in me that made me go back home and find a way, find scholarships, find anything I could to make this happen. So I just want to say that no matter what dream you're chasing, guys that are listening to me, this is what you're going to encounter for every big dream that you have. Once I began, what I did was I put all of my classes on the same day. So I would fly into Boston, go straight from the airport to the classroom, go through and listen to all of my professors and take notes. And then I would fly back early the next morning. It took me about 3.5 years, but then I graduated in May of 2016 with a degree in master's in international relations. And then, like you said, with a focus in US space policy. One of my professors there really encouraged me to go to the NASA sponsored International Space University. And I think that's the one great thing about Harvard that I treasure is that sometimes when you think about Harvard, you imagine that it's kind of uppity and snobby or something like that. But what I really found was what makes it wonderful is that the professors tell you every time you're in the classroom, you can change the world, you're special, you're valuable, and we believe in you. And that's exactly, what changed my life was their belief in me. So I went to International Space University, and it's a program it's kind of a postmaster's program where they bring in about 120 space professionals from around the planet. And it's just life-changing is all I have to say. And so this is what really opened the doors for me to go to Washington, D.C. and to work in the space industry there. As far as my science background, I've been a pilot since I was 20 years old. So for almost 4 decades. And flying is science. You go to ground school first. They make sure you understand all the laws of gravity, the laws of lift, all the physics involved with flying an aircraft. They teach you meteorology, weather predictions, all these things. And really just when you put science in action, not just in the classroom, it's fascinating. And I also teach all of my gymnasts when they're running for a big tumbling pass, it's just physics. The harder and the faster you go, the more lift you're going to get. And so just try to bring science in everything I do because I love it so much. I'm not sure if I answered all your questions, but that's what I remember that you asked me. So if I missed something, please tell me.
I think you did everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi. How did you become a gymnast mentor? Have you attended Olympic Games? Can you tell us about some of your students? How is gymnastics beneficial for the body and for the mind?
Thank you for asking that question. I wanted to make an impact on my local community long before I wanted to make an impact on a larger scale. And I thought the best way to do this was to start with youth sports and specifically focused on girls. And also in the United States, when a gymnast does a really good job and becomes great, they can get all of their university tuition paid for, get a scholarship. So that was also another reason that I chose that. But it just kind of came to me. This is the path for me. This is the path that maybe God has a plan for my life to touch others in my local community. So for the last 20 years, I've been coaching, and we've produced hundreds of state, national, and world champions. We've had some on their way to the Olympic trials. I've attended the Olympic trials, but one of our gymnasts actually hurt her knee like right before that she attended that. But the most important thing is not for me, not the medals and the awards and the winning. That's all a part of it. But I have the privilege of having almost 500 gymnasts during the week. And at some point, they're not going to do gymnastics anymore. And so it's important to me to instill in them the values that I was raised with: faith, hard work, teamwork, overcoming fear, overcoming failure, just working together. as a team. And these are the things that they're going to carry the rest of their life. You know, one day their gymnastics career is going to be over. It's going to be short. But if I can teach them how to be a great person and a hard worker and a good citizen, I tell them every day, you guys are amazing. No matter how you practice today, whether it was a good practice or a bad practice, you are going to be attorneys, you're going to be doctors, you're going to be scientists, professors, political leaders. Some of you will be senators, members of parliament. You're going to be presidents and prime ministers. You are the next generation that's going to change the world. And I tell them every day how special they are. So it's really, really rewarding in so many ways. And one of the things that the gymnasts say together as a group before practice starts is one of my favorite Bible verses. They all say it. And remember, they're from all different backgrounds. They're not necessarily Christians, but I always have them say out loud, with God, nothing is impossible, because I want them to remember that the rest of their life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Can you share about the Explore Mars project and the Humans to Mars conference? Can you also share about your meeting with former Vice President Mike Pence and astronaut Buzz Aldrin?
Explore Mars is an organization made up of high-level space professionals who advocate and educate not only our leaders in Washington, D.C., but people around the world about the importance of human space exploration. I am lucky to have been a part of this. And each year we have a conference in Washington, D.C. in May, normally, where we bring together leaders of the space industry. We bring in astronauts and others. And we look over and discuss publicly, you know, what are the advances we've made to get to Mars? Where are the gaps? Where do we need to work on that? And we just bring that whole concept to the public and also to children all over the world through our live streaming about where we are, what's our marker, where are we now on the road to Mars? And it's just a privilege to work with these people. Now, as far as the question about, your question about Mike Pence and how did I meet him? The President of the United States has the option of creating a National Space Council. The National Space Council is a body of cabinet level members, the NASA administrator, CIA, all the different people who are involved in the space with our government. And these leaders come together and work to make sure that we're all cooperating and using space for the benefit of our country. It is always chaired by the Vice President of the United States. And in this case, in our last administration, it was Mike Pence. Currently, it's Kamala Harris. And just because I'm at a lot of space conferences and different space functions, space parties, I had the opportunity to meet Mike Pence. He's was so engaged with space, so amazing to push forward the Artemis program and the return to the moon. And he's just an amazing politician, leader, husband, father, all around an incredible person. And I think one of the highlights of my life is the one that you asked about is how did I meet Buzz Aldrin? Sometimes you just stumble into your dreams when you're going about your regular life. And I was at a space conference in San Jose, California in 2014. And Buzz walked in the room in the middle of the conference and he was swarmed by so many people. And I just kind of stood back. I didn't want to bother him. You know, I'm sure he gets tired of people wanting his autograph and taking pictures. So I thought, to be honest with you, I really haven't shared this publicly, but I will since you asked about my faith. I went into the corner of the conference room and I said, dear God, it would be really nice just to meet this man one day. And I left, went back to the hotel, standing in the lobby, just texting with my children and checking on them. And suddenly I felt someone tap me on the shoulder and I turned around and it was Buzz. And he said, hey, there's a group of us going to dinner. Do you want to go with us? And so that's how the friendship began. And I just had the opportunity to be with him several times, listen to his stories, his life stories, the inside stories, you might say, of what it was like to be a part of Apollo 11. And really, it's just a privilege. All the moonwalkers I've had a chance to meet are the best and the brightest, humble. And it's a privilege to have met and talked with him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, can you tell us about the situation in Afghanistan and why you took interest in it?
Yes, at the Human to Mars conference in May of 2019, the Explore Mars board decided that we would fly over 5 girls from the Afghan Girls Robotics Team. And Elon Musk actually paid for their trip to come over. And when they came and I met them, I was just fascinated by their stories, their struggles, their lack of resources, their persecution for just trying to get a high school education, just a desire to be engineers. And you couldn't help but really fall in love with these girls. I have 9 daughters of my own, and I just saw in them what I see in my daughters, and that is just a fierce determination, ambition to do great things in spite of their circumstances. I stayed in touch with the girls for the last couple of years because they desired to come to the United States and get a scholarship and get their engineering degrees. And their desire was to go back to Afghanistan and to empower young girls and women to chase after their educational dreams. So that's exactly how I kind of met with them and learned about them and developed a friendship with them. And then, as I've shared publicly, August 3rd, it was a Tuesday, I woke up in the morning and I just felt this overwhelming, dreadful feeling that they were in danger. And I couldn't shake it. I just kept trying to, but it wouldn't go away. So I began to reach out to as many people as I could to find out what I could do to help evacuate them. And with that, it became a 2-week process with their leader and mentor, a lady who's kind of traveled with them a lot. And we worked hand in hand for 2 weeks straight, 24/7, trying to find a way to get them on a flight out of Kabul. Many of them had to travel from Herat, their hometown, to Kabul. And as this handler leader of theirs pursued her international channels, I was pursuing all of my U.S. channels, working with the U.S. Embassy in Qatar, which then alerted a lot of the officials on the ground in Kabul. And it was just a mad dash to try to get our hands on these girls and get them past the Taliban checkpoints into the airport and on a flight. And to be honest with you, they departed the day you saw those awful images of people storming the tarmac. I think it was the following morning that they evacuated. The Qatar government was the one that actually finally airlifted them out of there and took them to Doha. And they did an amazing job of getting them out safely. But when you stand back and you look at the millions and millions of people that were in Kabul that day and the chaos, and that 10 young girls could actually be evacuated safely, it's really nothing short of a miracle. And it wasn't just me. This was a team effort by so many people that worked together to get them out. And so always remember in life, when you accomplish something big, there was always a group of people around you and working with you that made that happen.
Thank you. Hello, do you know other countries where girls are at risk? Hello, do you know other countries where girls are at risk?
Yes, girls' education is so important as you're bringing up, because girls turn into mothers, mothers train their children, and when you help educate a girl, you can really change the world in so many ways. And as far as countries that are struggling with education for young girls, one of them in the top 10 is Afghanistan, and even under the last 20 years, under the government, has been a struggle for them. And also, I would say, I've traveled to Africa a lot to help with setting up space programs for some of these emerging space nations, and also help them with Olympic gymnastics programs. And what I've seen in Africa is critical. There is not a lot of access for girls to get their education. It often has to be paid for, which they don't have the money to do that. So what I see is a lot of poverty. I see young girls entering the workforce way too early to help support their families. I see early marriages, and even for a lot of girls who do try to go to school, it's often a long walk to school, which is very dangerous for them. when they get to school, they often don't have the textbooks they need, or maybe it's one teacher to 50 or 60 students. So the ratio is not good either. We should do what we can every single day to make sure every child is educated and can read and have a chance at a normal life like we have, because we could be in their shoes, and it's really a struggle for them. I often travel into the villages of Africa where they have to think about just survival every day. They have to walk hours in the morning early, the girls and the boys, to get water to bring back to their families, to cook and to drink, and then they have to make a second trip. And this takes up most of their time and most of their energy. So I think we should really try to focus on helping, as many people as we can, whatever your role is, to make sure everyone has the same chance that we have.
As a motivational speaker, what is your message for young people about breaking the boundaries and pressing forward adversities?
I think no matter what dream you're chasing, what goal you have in life, I think we always imagine doing something fantastic. I believe God has a plan for everyone's life, a blueprint, and it's always fun to chase after that. And it's a journey. Just know that no matter what goal you have in life or dream, there's always going to be an obstacle. There's always the dark forces that don't want us to achieve that. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I just know when you're chasing something like this, you're going to run into a wall. And the obstacles can be money, it could be where you live, it could be that you don't have time. It could be that those that are close to you tell you that, oh, that'll never happen. Maybe your friends, family members might try to, tell you that it can't be done. But what I found is it's not the talented people that achieve their dreams. It's the ones that just won't quit. And if you will never use the word quit, you will find a way for that to happen. And when we're chasing the dream, sometimes we feel drained. Sometimes we feel down. Sometimes we feel doubt that it will never happen. So it's really important to find out what is your source of inspiration in life. And for me, it's the Bible. And I like to read it. I like to talk to God, and He fuels my heart towards the dream. For you, it could be something different. I don't know what your source of inspiration is, but you must have it, because you have to feed that dream inside of you that sometimes gets dusty and feels like it will never happen, and keep it alive. So there's one other thing I think is the biggest thing we encounter, and that is we doubt ourselves. We have this tape video playing in our mind, imagining that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not talented enough. And I think you have to really take control of that voice that comes in your head, and you treat it like a bad television program. Just turn off the remote control and focus on the I can, and feed yourself with, yes, I can, I will, and re-inspire yourself. And so really nothing is impossible, especially when you've done all you can do. God will make up the difference and open miracle doors for you to achieve your dreams.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again.
Hi.
How can faith and science coexist in your life? You're very interested in meeting leaders of all faiths.
Well, I think all of you know, when you dive deep into science and you look at the amazing creation that we have, it doesn't matter if you're looking deep into the micro universe, quantum physics, the organization and the structure is mind blowing. And then when you study the macro universe, you look at the creation of the stars and the planets and the images you see of the Hubble telescope. You say, wow, this is a grand design. Somebody put this together. This is not just an accident. And so when I look at science, I imagine in my mind that there is a great creator. And I am fortunate enough, and I feel like I'm lucky enough, that I get to try to learn about him his amazing creation. And I pray that he guides me. And when you look at the human body, or how a flower is made, or the engineering of a horse or a whale or a butterfly or a hummingbird, you can't help but be just fascinated and blown away by every detail and how it all works together. Fortunately, one of my professors at Harvard was named Dr. Giovanni Fazio, and most people kind of call him the Galileo of our time. He was the person who's responsible for the Spitzer telescope, which is the sister telescope to the Hubble. And the Hubble sees in the range that our eyes see, but the Spitzer telescope sees infrared and a whole nother part of the universe that we can't see with our naked eye. And this man is a man of faith. He's probably in his early 80s, and his whole life he has asked God to guide him in his research. And certainly he has risen to the top. He has hundreds of PhD students at Harvard researching the origin of the universe underneath him. And his discoveries and the things he's done, his work with the black hole, are just a testament to how you can use faith and science together to explore the world that God has made.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. What do you think is our future among the stars? How can space exploration help our own planet?
I love that question. Humans are naturally curious. From all through history, humans have explored and pushed the boundaries to go new places and open up new avenues for us to learn about. So it's just a natural part of our human makeup to explore. And one of the things I love about space exploration is international cooperation. So I had the privilege of being at NASA headquarters, working in the International Relations Department, and I got to see firsthand so many different countries come visit. We might be having a meeting at the table with the Japan Space Agency, or the German Space Agency, European Space Agency, talking with Russia or the UAE. And what I love is that the political tensions that people feel here on the Earth between countries really doesn't exist when you're talking about space. Everyone puts aside their differences and works together for international cooperation. Because if we don't, somebody's going to die and billions of dollars are going to be wasted, and we have to work together. So, in talking also with a lot of astronauts who've had the chance to view the Earth from a spacecraft, they are profoundly changed the rest of their life. Because when you look down upon planet Earth from space, you don't see boundaries. You don't see Afghanistan or a boundary between the US and Canada, or what we see here on Earth. What you see is this beautiful ball, this planet that's hanging out in space with a thin blue atmosphere around it. And it's the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. And in their minds, they suddenly realize we're not a bunch of different races. We're one race. We're the human race. And we're all on a spaceship called Planet Earth, hurtling through the universe at thousands of miles an hour. And I think it's that international cooperation that makes me so happy about space exploration. The second thing that I love about space exploration is the spin-off benefits to us here on Earth. So at my age, I had the good fortune of watching the Apollo program. I was born in 1961. So for 8 years, I got to watch Apollo 1 all the way through Apollo 11. I was 8 years old when Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. And I watched space exploration literally lift our country and our world out of the Stone Age. Suddenly, we are now living in an amazing time of technology. And space itself, every day you use it. Every day you talk on or text on your cell phone, or you watch a live stream, or you're on Instagram, or you're doing a credit card purchase, maybe not at your age, or you want to check the weather. This is all because of space. And so the benefits that we experience here on Earth from space exploration are just incredible. And especially medically speaking, we have LASIK, which is fixing our eyes. because of space. We have also robotic surgery due to the Canada arm. It's an incredible innovation that just comes directly from Canada's contribution to the International Space Station. So I think it's just a win-win all the way around for human beings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In closing, do you have advice for our young global citizens about our season 2 and our goals to help access to education for girls? Can you also think of any other contacts you may be able to introduce us to so we can meet them over the next school year?
So I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. You never know when one person's life is going to be changed by the broadcast and the inspiration that you give to others. Just remember, in the space industry, there's room for everyone. You don't just have to be an engineer or a scientist. Maybe your gift is in being an astronaut. Maybe it's to be in film and television to tell the story. Maybe it's to be an attorney or work on spacesuits or how to grow food, public relations. The space world is big, and we need everybody to be a part of it. And so as far as girls and their education, I think it's very important that down in your heart, you make a decision that you ask God to bring one person across your path, one girl that you can help, maybe once a year, once a month. And your contribution might just be encouraging them by text message, or maybe one day staying in touch with them and helping them get their high school education, or raising funds for them to get their primary education. I just think if we each would touch one person, we could really make a huge impact on this world. My final message to all of you and anyone that is listening is, as you chase after your dreams, and many of you will accomplish them, let's remember to be kind to others, to grow into a beautiful person, not to ever give up, and remember, when we achieve our dreams, to always reach down and help the next person up. I want you to remember the mantra that we have at NASA. I'm not working there now, but it gets on you. And the mantra is, failure is not an option. And you must just make a decision. You will never fail. You will never give up. And you will accomplish this through faith in God, faith in your friends, but mostly faith in yourself.
My name is Alexia. I'm in grade 7. I'm a founding member of the Citizens.
I really can't quite hear you. I'm so sorry. Could you get closer to the microphone?
Because you need to be right in front. Let's figure it out.
Hello, my name is Valentina. I am in grade 7. I'm a founding member of Young Global Citizens. I would like to invite you to continue working with us as an honorary Young Global Citizen. Thank you.
Thank you, Valentina. It would be an absolute honor and privilege to work with you. And I also have so many people in mind that we could invite onto your presentations to the world that would really inspire others. They're amazing women that need a voice and need a platform, who are accomplishing, amazing things as a mother, as a space professional, and they want to give back. And thank you for asking me this, because I know they would love to be a part of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valentina.
Everybody say goodbye.
Love you all. Bye. See you soon. Are you in Vancouver?
Yeah.
So Vancouver was the very last place I was before the pandemic hit. I was doing a conference there in Vancouver when the news came that, all the airports were shutting down and the world was shutting down. So I have the most wonderful people and friends in your city, and I can't wait to get back. Beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful country, beautiful city, and amazing food. I will come see you soon. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. I love you. Bye.
I'll send you the edit after I edit.
Thank you, Mark.
Have a wonderful day.